Hi there, church. Just here to offer you some encouragement during these difficult times once again. And today I'm going to start sort of a three-part encouragement. And so the first thing I'm going to say is I want you to read Deuteronomy chapter 31 and 32. In Deuteronomy chapter 32, God begins to lay out not only covenant blessings for for His people if they will be faithful, but also covenant curses. So for God's covenant people, for God's chosen people, for the church, for His people, if we are disobedient to His call to be faithful, if we are disobedient to His commands, then there are curses that come along with being in covenant with God. When we are faithful, He blesses us, and when we are faithless, He curses us. That's an overwhelming passage or overwhelming theme of the Bible. And that's not to get caught up in the sort of health, wealth, and prosperity gospel. When I say prosper us or when I say bless us, I don't mean materially, I don't mean financially, I don't mean any of those kinds of things. These are always going to be spiritual blessings. And for anybody who thinks that God doesn't still punish His people for wickedness, read Hebrews chapter 12 as well. So read Deuteronomy 32, but also read Hebrews chapter 12, where it talks about when He chastises us, when He brings difficulty into our lives, He's treating us as sons. In Deuteronomy chapter 32, one of the curses God gives for covenantal unfaithfulness is giving people over to their idols. So in verse 21, it says, "They have made me jealous with what is no God. They have provoked me to anger with their idols. So I will make them jealous for those who are no people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation." One of the obvious indicators that we are under judgment is that people are turning to idols. And I just want to read to you from Psalm 135. In Psalm 135, talking about idolatry, it says in verse 15, "The idols of the nations are silver and gold, the work of human hands. They have mouths but do not speak. They have eyes but do not see. They have ears but do not hear, nor is there any breath in their mouths. Those who make them become like them, so do all who trust in them." So there's this principle at play here. So God is giving us over to our idols. And the idols in our lives are deaf, dumb, and blind. Even though, so this is talking about physical idols that people make out of wood or stone or whatever. So it looks like a god, it has eyes like a god, and mouth like a god, and ears like a god, but it can't see or speak or hear because it's made from human hands, right? All it is a deaf, dumb idol. And so God says, those who worship them are become like them, so do all who trust in them. Whatever idols we erect in our own minds, right? The more we trust in them, the more we become like them, the more faith we place in them. And so my question would be just, what's your idol? Right? So what are the things that you ascribe the most worth to? And it's really simple. Just look at your daily schedule, look at your weekly schedule. What do you spend the most time thinking about and doing? That's your idol. Those who watch and consume a whole lot of sports often become like the sports icons that they're looking at. They live and they breathe that particular sport. The values that are conveyed in that sport become their values, etc. Those of us who spend most of our time thinking about finances and wealth and accumulation of wealth, maybe our job is everything to us. That next promotion is everything to us. What do those people do? As we become like our idol, we become more materialistic, more consumeristic, and more selfish and greedy. So whatever our idols are, we become like them. And that's contrasted in the New Testament. So if we become like the idols that we worship, so too is it true that we become like whatever we worship. And I want to read to you from 2 Corinthians chapter 3. "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we all, with unveiled faces, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. For this comes from the Lord who is Spirit." So my encouragement to you, if it's true that we become like the idols that we ascribe worth to and trust in, and this is telling us that the more we see Jesus, the more we focus on Jesus, the more we behold Jesus, the more we become like Jesus. So the principle at play here is you become like what you behold. So my question to you is, during all of this time of uncertainty, what are you beholding? Are you spending all your time on social media, getting caught up in the fear and the anxiety and the panic? Are you getting your news from the media and from the government who are announcing this is what's going to save us, that's what's going to save us, trust our new stimulus package, trust our social distancing strategy, whatever the case is, what you are beholding most during this time? Maybe you're binge watching Netflix, and I don't know what you're watching on Netflix, but whatever it is that you are consumed with right now, whatever it is that you are beholding, you are becoming. So don't come out of this time of isolation, don't come out of this time of social distancing like the deaf, dumb idols in our culture. Come out of this time of isolation more like Jesus by spending your time beholding Him instead of anything else. That's my encouragement for you today. We'll look at Deuteronomy 32 again tomorrow and try to draw some more encouraging words. Be encouraged. Be with the Lord.